let's close off this room for now. Actually, I need to duplicate this, I think, on this side. So I'm actually glad that I left that gap there, because now I can keep the same design style, and I can just run it through on this side of the room too, which will be cool. And for now, I'm actually going to close the room off here and just leave some excess space in the wall. I don't know if it'll stay that way, or if I'm just going to leave it that way for now. I haven't quite decided yet. I'll have to see how much more stuff we end up putting in this room area. For now, though, that's one nice thing about doing it this way, is I'll be able to kind of close things off, but it's just really on the floor. There's no real dividing wall yet. So if I end up ultimately deciding to change or expand the rooms or something, I can without really having an issue of any kind. Like that. So that way your reactors and batteries are here, but again, if we end up doing something in this area, it'll be fine. Otherwise, we might be able to just put some embedded thrusters in here and not have to really worry about it. Like, just keep it all sealed in to where you can't see them, type of thing. That would also work. Okay, so from this point, we've got our reactors and stuffs. The next thing we should probably put in is production stuff. So let's run... Oops, wrong button. Let's run this here. And this part, we're going to go a little further in. And then put a block here. Put a door frame in. And I'm building this with mirror mode on at the moment, but if we decide, well, we only need really like one processing room, or one to be power and one to be processing, you know, we can always go back and turn that off and then just change individual rooms to be exactly what we want. This is more of a rough draft, I suppose. It's probably the best example. Because I'm kind of designing this with pretty much just one person in mind. So it doesn't have to have like a billion things or a room for 9, you know, crew members or anything like that. It's pretty much just for like me when I play survival eventually again. So, ooh, what happened here? You're facing the wrong way. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's dumb. I won't be able to build a wall like that. Yeah, I won't be able to build a wall there. So, I'll probably have to move these out one. But for now, gives us a little bit of a ballpark of what we're looking at, but yeah, the wall structure will have to change, at least on one side. Even if we change this one out and just make it straight block the whole time, or just move this up one, I suppose, would also work. But yeah, that won't work because I can't put a block in here anymore. So that was kind of silly. Alright, let's see, what else we got? I can clear this for now. And let's look at assemblers, because I know there's, yeah, the azimuth one, which I'd like to use. I like to use modded stuff. I don't like to always use. I don't always like to use the normal stuff if I don't have to, because I like mods. Mods are fun. But if there's no other blocks, I mean, there's no other blocks. So, and this actually uses. That can't be right. It uses a small port when the assembler uses a large one. That doesn't feel like it makes any sense whatsoever. Is there no azimuth for assembler? Or refinery, I mean? That's weird. Oh, it has its own air vent. I didn't know that. That's cool. Nope, I already did that. So if I do this one... Oh, this has a small container too. Maybe we will use this. That would keep things a little bit easier. Again, I'm not really sure where I'm going to have the main intake from in terms of materials. So I don't really know where... I'm thinking it'll come in from the ceiling or the floor, wherever I put some connector point. Let's see. And for the assembler... I'll move these up, I think, to the front. And then what I'll do... Oh, I already got it on this one. Is connect this up through that. Should work. And then we'll put conveyors up here on these. Just so that we can attach stuff to whatever we end up doing later. I don't really see the need to do any more than that for one player. I mean, you've got 2 assemblers, 2 refineries, and there's 2 more on each side, actually, if we're following that through. So, yeah. Let's see, what else do we need to put in here? We'll need some kind of medical bay. Might as well put that in here too. Oh, that's medium container, that's not medical. Small med station. Medical station. Okay, that's pretty big. What are these other ones we can do? Oh, and a cryo station. Bleh, I can't talk. Okay, so this needs a wall to attach to. This, however, does not. So we can do a medical station somewhere. I don't really know where, though, because that's not really going to take up a whole lot of room. Did I not have beds? I thought I had a bed. Oh, we have bunk beds. There we go. But I don't want to put that in here, because who wants to sleep next to the refinery and everything? That would suck. So, let's see. Oh yeah, we're gonna need to put gravity in here too, because once we get rid of the platform we're building on, we won't have any gravity, which would not be good. We also need to take into account the air vent stuff. So let's grab these because they're full blocks. I definitely want an oxygen farm somewhere. Oh, we've got azimuth ones. That's cool. Let's use those. And we'll need to try... I want to try the vent and see what it looks like. That's pretty cool. I like that. What we could actually do, now that I'm looking at it, is we could put like a conveyor here at the top of each room kind of thing. We can put a vent right there, and then we can actually use that to run the tubes kind of inside the wall layer. And then we can connect this stuff up. Like so. And I know technically they're supposed to be connected already, but we'll just go ahead and connect that up anyway. So then that's connected. I should probably replace this with another conveyor, though. And that way we can kind of keep the line going. Like that. We'll switch this one out. This can go up. Like so. And then again, we'll just bring this over here and put a vent down, and that way that room's ventilated. So that can work. I don't think the batteries need to be connected to a conveyor. They should just charge on their own. And I'm gonna raise this up one, I think, right here on these conveyors. Wait, where did my conveyors go? They're there. I'm gonna bring this up by one, and then bring stuff out so that we can cover it up later. Because I'm thinking this will be kind of our main connection point for getting stuff to and from some kind of connector or collector or something. Alright, so let's see. That takes care of the refining and the power supply. Oh, I know. We can actually bring a line this way, and what I'll do is we'll make this area storage. I think that would work best. Container? Not really sure. Yeah, okay. Medium, large. Let's grab a couple of large containers. Reaction control thrusters. And what I'll probably do is just make them kind of cylindrical here. Like just stack them like this instead of trying to make them fancy or anything. I think I'll just line them up like that. And I think a cell of 4 should be more than enough, even for... Actually, I wasn't thinking about it. There's 2 over on that side, if we keep the mirror in effect, so I don't even think I'm going to do that. I think 4 total should be enough. That. There we go. So that way, we have our storage, our refinery, our power, and our batteries and reactors. So, in keeping with this being the refining type process area, or processing room, let's go ahead and throw our generators and oxygen stuff in here. Oh, look at this, it's tiny! This is so small. Okay, so we'll probably need a decent amount of those, because we want to make sure we have oxygen tanks. And the generators are tiny too. So cute. What I'm going to do is kind of a simple structure to this. Ooh. Wow. That took a minute. And from, like, here to here, I think I'll... Wow. That's taken a minute to load in. I'm trying to think. That should be more than enough. Like, that's excessive, actually. But I don't really care. What I'm wondering... That's centered on the door. Because I keep forgetting that with the mirror mode on, it's duplicating it to the other side. So whatever we get, we're getting double of. Don't really think we would need that much. Let's find out how much they... Can we see how much they hold? I don't remember if you can or not. Oh yeah, we'll have to do it from this way. Filled. It doesn't tell me how much it's filled though. Let's put one of those on there. Wait, oxygen. Oh, okay. It's in the other one, other place. So these are filling up. It doesn't really tell me how much they can store though. How big on a small ship are these farms? So if I put one in between these, it could work. Do we have a port on the top? No, we don't. We have one on the bottom. Okay. Because what I'm thinking is I want at least 2 farms on each side, because I've been told you probably need about 4 or more if you want for just one person, even. And actually, we're going to have to trim these down by 1. The reason for that is I want to be able to pull from this conveyor tube and just do like this. And kind of just carry it over to however many we want to do. Type of thing. Whoa, where'd I go? Oh, there I am. Let's see. Okay, they're not that expensive anyway, so let's just go ahead and put these here. These aren't too terrible either. And that way we can probably cover up some of this with the ceiling. You know, you can do like an angle block and kind of cover it up and run a line that way. If we wanted to, if not, no big deal. But what that allows us to do is we can run a... let's see, if we put a conveyor here, then I could probably do... a solar farm there? And here, at least. I don't know if I could do... I was kind of thinking a plus shape. I don't know if I could do an outer one, though. That, I'm thinking I'm going to leave. That'll be 6 farms. And essentially what we'd be doing is just kind of roll the ship over. This is tentatively, though, as far as this is looking like it's below the hull. So as the hull arcs up, we might have to raise those up a little bit. Not a big deal, just something we'll have to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's not a big deal. So yeah, so our oxygen's taken care of. Our refinery and storage and power for the reactor and battery side are taken care of. I do want to put solar panels on the ship somewhere, though. Oh, good. I've got a bunch of the multi-dimensional ones. That'll be good. Alright. So, the next thing... Really, I guess the next thing I need to do is weapons and crew quarters type thing. Some of this stuff I don't know if I can pull off on a small ship, like you don't have any mess hall or kitchen stuff that will actually work on a small ship, so I might have to get a little creative in that regard. In terms of the bedding, I thought I had a different one, but apparently I don't. And I have more mods that I can add in at a later date. I just can't do it while I'm without taking the stream down, basically. So, and reloading it or whatever. So I don't really feel like doing that. But I don't really know that I want to get into the I don't really think that I want to get into the living quarters section without maybe adding a couple of different mods back in that aren't necessarily DX11 compatible, mostly because I'm not real thrilled about that one bunk bed being the only one we had to work with. So what I'll probably do here is let's add a medic station. Let's add a medical room, and I might, based on my clock that we're looking at and stuff, I might go ahead and wrap this up after we do our medical room, I'm thinking. And I think given the size of the room, I'm wondering if I want to use the full medical bay room or if I just want to put like a medic station. I think I'm just going to put a station somewhere. And I might, what I'll probably do is put crew quarters over here and then medicals across the room, or the hall from that. I don't really think that I'll need 2 medical bays. The rest of it, it makes sense to do 2 at a time or whatever. Why can't I select the door anymore? That's weird. I can select... Oh! Ha! Ha ha ha! I was hitting the wrong button. That would make a big difference. Okay, so after the doors and the frame is in place, I'm thinking I'll disable mirror mode then at that point. And then we'll use this excuse me, this section for like fire control and some other things. Not, you know, chief among them would be like bridge. That small little technicality. Okay, let's see here. Actually, we're gonna need to move this back one. Nope. I need it to do this. There we go. Oops. Nope, don't want that. Stay this way. And like I said, I'll probably end up having to change around these floor angles and stuff. Just because I'll have to have enough room to build a wall. That's why I'm not really building things right up against walls. And I don't really see the need to make one that big. Oh, and cryo sleep. That's the other thing we need. We'll put that in here too. Let me... Since we'll already have conveyors running into the room, I'm not really worried about the cryo container thing. But we do need to check and make sure it'll fit. Yes, we're currently working on the we found a new way to say it. It's Corvette. So the Corvette ship. Oh, sorry. I just now saw that you said you couldn't hear me. So, yeah, let's see, which one I don't want to use the vanilla one as usual. There was one, I think it's this one. I think it's the sage one that actually works. And it... I think that... Yes, okay, so that one actually functions. That's the one that I was looking for. But I always forget... Is that upside down? I think that's upside down. Yes, it is. Okay. So I don't want to do that. No, I tried to run it in DirectX 11 and it got, I don't know, it just always ends up like super bright. So I didn't end up using that. This is still DX9. I am using, all the mods I'm using are DirectX 11, but I'm not actually using 11 at the moment. Alright, so I wanted to clear out some space here so that you're not just walking right into the cryopod. We'll do that. Bring that out a little bit. Yeah, the bloom effect in the DX11 is just way too high. I did something like 2 days ago and it seemed to have like fixed itself, but I have no idea what I did and I've never been able to replicate it. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought I had it. I was like, oh, they fixed it, and no, did not. Ooh, that's not gonna work for me. Well, it might actually. Let's just put a block there instead. We're gonna have to do that anyway. Now, what I'll do is we need to build like a little wall chunk there. And we can put this here. Well, what does this one look like? It's a little taller than I wanted. Let's just put this one there. So we'll have our first aid. Actually, no. Let's set that into the wall. Like so. There we go. That's much better. So we'll have our first aid kit on the side and a cryo chamber right there, which will work. Awesome. It's kind of going to be a darkish gray ship, but I will probably end up doing some other colors after the build is done. And I don't know if I can get away with doing this, or if it needs a big conveyor. I feel like it should be okay, but I honestly don't know. What I'll do on this part... is I may throw a larger conveyor on the back here. And that way, if I need to use that one, I can kind of work with it. Actually, no. Let's do a curve. I don't really understand the difference for this one. I don't know what that is. Like, they look identical. So, we'll just go with that one. If I can do... Let's actually try the regular one and see if that works. Let's connect this. We'll have to bring this over for a vent anyway. Where did my vents go? There they are. Oh. I'll run it off of this one, I guess. Well, for testing, let's just run it off of this here. And we'll see if this ends up connecting. If it does, I'm assuming it'll work. I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not. Oh! Ha ha ha. This is off by one. That's annoying. Alright, it lights up, so I'm kind of assuming that'll be okay. And if so, we'll probably reorganize this, come off of one of these, and plug it into the back instead of up over the ceiling, because that's kind of ugly looking. Oh, one of them has glass and the other... Well, the one has glass, but on this ship, the model, like, converts itself to the same thing. So maybe on a large... Yeah, okay, so on a large ship, you're getting the same kind of conveyor as the small one. That's the difference. But on a small ship, the two look the same anyway, so... Yeah, the conveyor lights up at the end, but normally that's if it's, like, connecting to something. I just can't remember if that also means that it'll function correctly or not, to be quite honest. So I don't know if it's actually working or if it needs the bigger conveyor tube. I don't know. If it does, then I'll just have to retrofit that and change that out later. And the Sage ones do actually work now. There is a version of the cryo that works. Which ones are it? These... Let me clear this out. So... I think it's this one with the frosting on it. You can't get in. They don't do anything. They're like for looks, for extra aesthetics. This one... you used to be able to get into, hence the thumbnail. It had the open canopy, but it doesn't anymore, I guess. Or wait, no, I hit the wrong button. This one. There we go. So this one you can get in, but I don't think it actually does anything because you can still look around and stuff like that. This one, however, which is the one I ended up using, it's a clear canopy, not frosted, and it's closed. So when you get in, you'll see the frosting around it, and you can't move. Even holding Alt, you can't change your view, which is pretty much like the original vanilla one. So it's been retrofitted. Basically, the mod's been updated to where it still has some of the other ones, but you can't actually get in them, which they look a lot cooler in my opinion, so that's why I ended up using it, because it looks awesome. Okay. Let's see. Over in this area is probably where I'll end up making the living quarters. It makes sense to have it close to the bridge and close to the med bay. So that would work out fairly well. What I don't have is I don't have the living quarter mods installed that I want. So I was trying to keep everything DirectX 11, but then when the renderer didn't work, I ended up in 9 anyway, so I could have loaded more in that are only 9. Yes, they do kind of look like the Halo cryopods. I mean, cryopods kind of look like most cryopods. There's not been a whole lot of innovation to them, like, oh, this movie looks completely different, but they do resemble the Halo ones, definitely. Closer than most. Let's see. So at this point, in this section, I'm going to lay out, I think, some room for... oh. At this point I can turn mirror back on. I'm going to lay out some room, I think, for leading to the command bay. Which, what I'll probably do is at this point, this actually looks like a pretty good point to do so, is I'm going to turn this and gradually step it towards itself. Let's see, I'm going to need a door though. So let's put one there. Let's take this back by 1. Ooh, I don't know how I want to do this actually. I want this here. So I would kind of need one like this. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just bring this in at an angle. That'll work best. There we go. So here, from this point, what I'd like to do is have it to where you go forward, and then this room is like the weapons control, CIC type thing. I mean, in reality, in-game, you could kind of just do a bridge or cockpit here and be done. You don't really need, like, a CIC or something. I just find it fun to do, just because it's some other room you can build and it looks cool and all that kind of crap. But you don't really need it, per se. Let's see. We'll do this here. So, I want to do some stuff for this. Didn't lose too much. We didn't actually get started till, like 1, actually. So we've only been streaming for like a couple hours, actually. Though some of it kind of some of it was progressive, some of it kind of ended up derping around, but don't worry about it. All the important stuff will end up on YouTube anyway. I always cut up my my streams afterwards. Let's see. I'm just trying to give some room here, but we can't go out too far, so actually let's bring this back a little bit. And right about here, that looks like it's getting a little tight in terms of the hull. It's getting a little close to the hull there. So I want to bring this back out. And then we'll kind of copy this. Nope, don't know what that is. Door. I think. Nope, that's one too close. Like that? Like that. Sweet. Okay. And we'll do a door frame here. Nope, not on the floor. We'll do a door frame above the door. That's where a door frame belongs. Alright, so we got that part. And like I said, this will kind of be a small, just some kind of, you know, monitors, controls, stuff like that. And then this part will actually turn into the, like, bridge kind of thing. Now, the difficult part with the bridge is going to be factoring the hull shape that we're doing kind of thing into the bridge design so that we don't end up kind of like just with a really tall hull spot and then it has to like back up and go embedded kind of thing to get any kind of canopy, unless we decide as we build the hull up to just step the bridge up into it. That's also a solution that we could do. Just kind of depends on how we want to work with it. We have a little bit more completed on it though now that we can kind of maybe mess around with this and see more where the hull's going to end up. I mean, it's going to kind of track the same on all the levels, so... Though, I'm not completely sold on this nose. This nose is not thrilling me very much. I've done these before where you stack them up kind of thing, but yeah, I'm just not too happy with that. The other option we do have is, being that I did talk about making this like a Star Destroyer-esque type ship, we could add a second floor somewhere in here. Like, we could change this design around a little bit and make a second door in between here somewhere. Maybe put more of the make the room a little wider, put the batteries up towards the front, and then make like a stairway that goes up. And we could have an actual bridge up here to fly the ship, which would be more in line with like a Star Destroyer type of deal. That's also an option. In that case, I don't know exactly what I would end up doing with this room. I would probably elongate it more and bury it under the hull a bit better, and then it would have a bit more room and we could do some other stuff with it. So there's that's an idea as well. Yeah, the nose does kind of look a bit like an Anaconda from Elite Dangerous. Again, both of them have a bit more of a streamlined nose, but that's because you're dealing with a game that, you know, or game and movie, whatever, where you weren't limited to just like straight blocks kind of thing. The other option we also have is we could use the ramps. I didn't realize that there were vanilla ramps that would work for small ships. So we could use the ramps as well and create a more narrow angle, because that spans 2 blocks instead of jumping at 1. That's also an option. The more I think about it, the more I actually do like the idea of expanding this room and maybe making it the living quarters or something like that, because it would give us more room. You could have like a captain's cabin kind of thing. Though, not really sure that I'd want the captain's cabin like in the nose of the ship, like the bow. If you ever rammed any other ship, you'd just completely crush, you know, Captain was in his quarters. Ugh, Captain's not in his quarters anymore. So this probably makes more sense to do some kind of like backup war room, weapons control, something else, in general. And then, because this is a smaller ship, even if we did a bridge that's shaped kind of like a Star Destroyer, the interior would probably be only small enough for like, or big enough for like 2 people. So it would make sense to make that top bridge more like a cockpit type thing, where you have like pilot, co-pilot, and then we could have this be more like a war room, weapons control area. I think that'll work better, and then this can still be your like quarters type of thing. So what I'm thinking I'll probably do is maybe make a internal either doorway, not necessarily a whole nother door, but just like an archway type of thing. Along here we could do kind of like an arch type setup. And then, you know, end this wherever we get, and then we could just stack more batteries over here. We can move these over to here, basically. You'd still have an access point to get to it, you know, and then you could go up and have a stairway over on this side, or an elevator, something to get you up to the second deck or something, I don't know. An engineering bay or repairing stuff, that's true. That's true. That's more, I mean, I don't say that I won't do that, because I might. That actually does sound like a good idea, but I do think that would be more of a role-playing type room, if that makes sense. Like, in the actual game of Space Engineers, I mean, you normally can do, you know, you just carry your tools around with you and repair stuff. The only thing is, hold on a minute. Can you do a welder on a small ship? You can, but there's not really a whole lot of point, because you can't weld the ship itself. That wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, I mean, there are shelf unit mods and stuff that are basically like pseudo storage containers and, you know, things like that. You could trick it out to where it looked like an engineering or you know, reactor control and blah 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 blah. Actually, what we could do is we could put some programmable blocks in here as well, and that way, when I get the OS built, which is part of the, you know, Space Engineers programming series that I've been doing, we could equip it there and have some LCD displays to give you sit reps on different components in the ship and inventory management and all that kind of stuff. So we could actually make that an engineering or information type area. That would work. Alright. Keep a small drone in there. That's also possible. Depending on... You'd have to make it a really tiny drone, though. Like, that's a small spot for a drone. That would be the only thing. Like, it's a good idea, but as small as the space you have to work with here, it would have to be a little bitty drone, you know, kind of thing. And thanks for all the congrats on making 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate that, especially since it's all of you guys that make it happen. So that's awesome. Yeah, you could do a comms room, maybe with an antenna and some beacons. So that's, I'm kind of thinking that this section will be a larger room, but it'll have a kind of ship control / communications would be a good thing to do. We could use the azimuth small antennas to put in there instead of, because normally the default antennas are huge. So we could use the azimuth small antennas. We could put a beacon in here for emergencies, because you don't actually have to have the beacon visible to see it from, you know, like a multiplayer standpoint. You could just set the beacon off. So we could put our beacon, our antenna. We could put a couple LCD panels with a programmable block, some timer blocks to make it check stuff. Like, so this will be our. I guess it would still fall under engineering, but we'll call it the IT room. Basically, all your communications and system analysis type stuff. And then we'll have this be the living quarters, and we can retrofit this with a small pocket area, and then some kind of transportation up to a bridge. Something like that. And then I think the only other thing we would really have to do is outfit it with weapons and thrusters and stuff like that. The thrusters, I'm going to try my best. I want to leave destructible blocks and thruster damage on from just a purist standpoint of thrusters would damage things and stuff. But I don't really have the mod installed with the thrusters I really wanted. I could use the azimuth ones. I wanted the S3 thrusters, I think. Unless there's some other ones I could find. Small fighter platform. would have a door on the ceiling. That's... We were just kind of bringing that up, that you could do drones and stuff, but they would have to be very small. Because this really wasn't designed to carry a bunch of drone ships. Now, what I have thought of is we're going to need connectors somewhere to transport materials, uranium, or stuff like that. And in doing that, we'll need a connector somewhere, so we could have some kind of small drone on the exterior just constantly attached to the outer hull of the ship that's connected to it. And then we wouldn't necessarily need like a bay inside the ship to store it. We could just connect it to the outside, which I think would be the best way to do it, but we'll see how that goes. Subnautica is still going on the channel. It is currently down to 1 episode a week, I think, to make room for everything else and kind of give me time to work on some other projects. I believe it's still going up on Saturdays. I will be releasing Lego Worlds and Batman later today. I have to upload them after we're done with the stream, which I'm about ready to wrap it up. I'm getting kind of pooped. And we made good progress on this, though. I'm excited. This is looking pretty good, so I'm excited to keep working on it. But we'll probably start wrapping it up here in a minute. But Subnautica's on Saturdays, I think. Lego Worlds and Batman Arkham Knight will be up today. I had an issue with the programming episode for Programming 101. I recorded it. I'd had like an hour episode set up, and when I went to edit it to render, don't know what happened. It just, the file said it was like 0 kilobits, and it said that it had some kind of error with a header file, and so it couldn't find the file. And I was like, ah, crap. So my whole episode just didn't record, basically. Make something like Mr. Gutsy from Fallout. Oh, that's true. I could have, like, it wouldn't actually work as far as a functional drone. I don't think you could make a functional little helper drone. But if you could, yeah, that would be kind of cool. You could have him just like stuck somewhere over here in a corner. Just have a little those are the ones that look like a big octopus, basically. They got a bunch of tendril legs, I think. I think those are the Mr. Gutsies from Fallout. So, yeah. So I don't know if the programming episode will end up just later in the week when I re-record it, or if it'll actually be like I just won't have one this week and it'll end up next week. I don't know. It'll just have to do with my schedule and if I find time to do another episode on it. But tomorrow's the Space Engineer's Inspiration, Subnautica, and another Batman Arkham should be up fine. I do think I'll be doing an Elite Dangerous live stream on Monday, I believe. So, because I'm going to try, I don't know, I'm going to do it one way or another, but if I can, I'm going to try and rope Cade and Red Pearl into actually playing with me so we can make like a wing and do some co-op stuff, which I've never really done in a stream before. If we can pull that off, we're going to do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to do a regular live stream of it anyway. But it changes what we do, because there's like some community goals going on I want to do. The last episode of Elite, we were doing some power play. And so those two, I wouldn't mind continuing to do a live stream on. The only thing is Caden's got like the Eagle. It's a very beginning stock ship type thing. And I don't think he would be able to get out to where I am in the galaxy. So if he's actually going to get on and we're going to stream together in a co-op, I have to basically get over to him because my ship can jump farther than his can. And then I'm gonna try and help him out and build up his credits and stuff to get him a better ship. If not, though, if he's not able to join us, then I'll probably just continue either with the community goal that's active right now or some more power play stuff, or both, just depending on how it goes. But I will probably be doing that Monday. There should be an announcement video coming out today or tomorrow later in the evening. And but the regular stuff I already did pre-recorded, so my normal episodes should be up. They'll just be up a little later today because of the stream. I didn't want to be uploading and streaming at the same time. So yeah, yeah. In Subnautica, when I get another Cyclops sub, I think I'm gonna name it the Seaview Mark II, because I love Seaview. That's such a cool sub. It's so cool. Yeah. I don't know exactly how the Elite stream's gonna go to on Monday. But I'm open to doing wing co-op. I don't know how big of a wing you can make, but I'm open to doing co-op with some of the streamers. My only stipulation would be, for content purposes, is I'll try to keep text chat into the Twitch app instead of in-game. That way you guys don't have to worry about what's said or things like that, because I'm always looking at my content for what's going to end up on YouTube and stuff like that. It saves me from having to edit anything later if it's all not showing up on screen, kind of thing. So, but other than that little stipulation there, yeah, I'm not opposed to doing co-op. I just don't know how big of a wing I can get, so it would probably just be whoever I end up finding and joining up with first until I can't join any more people. The biggest I've seen is 3, but I don't know if that's just an in-game stipulation, like the NPC squads don't do any more than that, or if that's actually just how many people you can have in a wing. So, chat says the biggest I saw was 5. Oh, okay. So you might be able to do more than that. So I'll have to look that up and see if there's actually a hard number on how many people you can have in a wing. So anyways, I think we're going to wrap things up for today. Thank you all for coming out, though. I appreciate it. And thanks again for getting us up to our 5,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome and epic. And I agree, somebody in the chat, I missed who it was, and it's already passed up into the chat now, but somebody mentioned, here's to 10,000. That's awesome. I cannot wait. That would be great. Feel free to tell your friends. Tell them to come subscribe and check out our stuff. That's my little push. So yeah, we're going to wrap things up for today. And I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to check us out on YouTube if you haven't already. If you are and you're already a subscriber, well, then you just keep being awesome. So yeah, I will see you guys later. The episodes for our regular stuff should be up later today. Tomorrow should go up just fine, and then Monday we'll be doing an Elite stream, and there'll be an announcement video sometime either tonight or tomorrow before we end up doing that. So it'll have more details. So I will see you guys later.